Hello, I'm Comfort. I'm Modu. Welcome to the news on NTA International. The headlines. Flagship climate conference designed to showcase Africa as a potential powerhouse for green energy opens in Kenya. African Youth's Climate Assembly Summit ends with the African Development Bank pledging $1 billion for the Young People Empowerment Program. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency continues clamp down on illicit drug dealers with another impressive breakthrough. Good to have you join us. President Bola Tinubu will depart Abuja on Monday to attend the G20 Leaders Summit in New Delhi, India, on the special invitation of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. On the sidelines of the summit, the president will participate in and deliver keynote addresses at both the Nigerian-India Presidential Roundtable and the Nigerian-India Business Conference. The CEO roundtable would be attended by leading industrialists in the Indian private sector, Nigerian industrialists, as well as senior government officials from both countries. The president aims to leverage this platform to attract global capital and promote increased foreign direct investment in key labor-intensive sectors of Nigeria's economy for job creation and revenue expansion. Now, the president's statement says the president will use the opportunity to highlight Nigeria's attractiveness as an investment destination, specifically outlining his cross-sectoral reform plan as encapsulated by the Renewed Hope agenda. At the G20 summit, the Nigerian leader is expected to share Nigerians' perspective on the theme One Earth, One Family, One Future, which speaks to the global unity required to address the challenges facing humanity and the planet. Accompanying the president on the mission are the following members of his cabinet: Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, Minister of Foreign Affairs; Wale Edun, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy; Dr. Bosun Tijani, Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy; and Dr. Doris Uzwaka Aniti, Minister of Industry, Trade and that of Investment. Chinese President Xi Jinping has told Beninese President Patrice Talon that China is ready to deepen cooperation in all fields as the two countries establish a strategic partnership. Talon is paying a state visit to China from August 31 to 3rd of September. Details with Kolo Mohammed.
Chinese President Xi Jinping told Benin President Patrice Talon on Friday that China is ready to deepen cooperation in all fields as the two countries establish strategic partnership. Talon is paying a state visit to China from 31st August to September the 3rd. He is set to attend the Global Trade in Services Summit, which runs from September 2nd to 6th in Beijing. China attaches great importance to the development of China-Benin relations and is willing to work closely with Benin at all levels, as well as promote bilateral relations to a new level. In recent years, the two sides have supported each other on issues of mutual core interest and major concerns and maintained good communication and coordination on multilateral occasions. China supports Benin in independently exploring development paths suited to their national conditions and is willing to strengthen exchanges with Benin in terms of experience in governance, share experience in reform and development, and firmly support each other to realize common development and revitalization. He said China encourages its enterprises to invest in and cooperate with Benin and welcome Benin to promote the entry of its high-quality products with unique features into the Chinese market by making full use of such large-scale events as the Global Trade in Services Summit and the China-Africa Economic and Trade Expo. The two sides should also strengthen counterterrorism and security cooperation, conduct closer coordination in international affairs, safeguard the common interests of development countries and international justice, and maintain peace and development in the region and the world at large. China supports Africa in becoming an important pole in the world's political, economic, and civilization development, and it is willing to provide new opportunities for Africa with its own new development. China will work with its African brothers, including Benin, to implement the outcomes of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, forge strong synergy between the Belt and Road Initiative, the Global Development Initiative Agenda 2063 of the African Union, AU, and development strategies of African countries. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
And we turn our attention to Kenya, where a flagship climate conference designed to showcase Africa as a potential powerhouse for green energy is holding ahead of Crunch UN talks. Now, the world far adrift of its goal of slashing carbon emissions and communities battered by extreme weather events, the November climate summit in oil-rich United Arab Emirates will be dominated by clashing visions for energy.
Kenya next week hosts a flagship climate conference designed to showcase Africa as a potential powerhouse for green energy, and the first of a flurry of big meetings ahead of Crunch UN talks. With the world far adrift of its goal of slashing carbon emissions and communities battered by extreme weather events, the November climate summit in oil-rich United Arab Emirates will be dominated by clashing visions for energy. Kenyan President William Ruto says he wants the first African climate summit running in Nairobi from Monday to Wednesday to help deliver African solutions. The goal is to transform the continent into the source of the world's revolution in green power. But to achieve this, it needs an influx of funding and help for its debt burden. Ruto and other African leaders have sought to show that Africa is not a victim but a critical player in solving the world's climate crisis, said Mavis Owusu-Gwamfi of the African Center for Economic Transformation. Africa, home to 1.2 billion people spread across 54 nations, is famously diverse, politically and economically. Despite this, said Owusu-Gwamfi, its leaders have homed in on a set of climate priorities, from debt relief and low-carbon development to overhaul of the global financial architecture. The hope is to generate momentum for a series of key international meetings leading up to COP28. These include G20 negotiations in India, the UN General Assembly, and the World Bank and International Monetary Fund annual meeting in Marrakesh. With the expectant communique premise on the theme, driving green growth and climate finance solutions for Africa and the rest of the world. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
In the meantime, the African Youth Climate Assembly Summit ends in Nairobi, Kenya, with the African Development Bank pledging $1 billion for the Young People Empowerment Program on the continent. Details with Musa and Liu.
These young Africans converged here to discuss one major challenge affecting the social and economic well-being of the continent. Climate change is the issue, with the World Bank claiming that millions of Africans will be displaced if necessary measures are not taken by the African leaders to mitigate the impact. Drought, flood, desert encroachment, and soil degradation are the common features of climate change in Africa.
Parts of Somalia are projected to fall into famine in the very near future unless there is an urgent scale-up in humanitarian assistance. Millions more people in the other parts of the country are facing extreme hunger, and it's likely that many people have already starved to death.
These young Africans, under the umbrella of the Youth Climate Assembly, provide a platform for African youths and children to raise their voices, share experiences, and contribute their quota to the global discourse on climate change.
Collaboration is what amplifies our impact, and united, we bring forth transformative change on multiple fronts.
President William Ruto of Kenya, alongside the President of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, engaged the youth at the closing ceremony of the summit. President Ruto emphasized the need for Africa to commit more resources to mitigate climate change.
I signed into law the carbon market law in Kenya. In the same bill, I made sure that the Climate Council that will be in charge is front and center, has youth representatives, because they are our future. They are the people who have the greatest stake in our future. And if we do not manage climate change, it will destroy the future of our countries and put at risk the future of our young people.
Dr. Akinwumi Adesina challenged the youths to embrace agriculture and other innovation that will improve their income.
We've got 425 million Africans that are between the age of 15 and 35. That means that this is the best asset that Africa has. Your ideas, your creativity, your perspectives, your innovations, your entrepreneurship capacity is what we need to drive the economy. Ask about economic growth and development. It has to be inclusive, but you can't do it without, you have to do it with. Now, the youth are the biggest equity holders on this continent. And therefore, when we talk about economic development, economic policies, about programs and financing, we have to put the youth primarily at the center of everything that we do.
It is estimated that 60% of the population of the African continent are young people 25 years below. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
Now, to decongest the courts and prevent delay of cases, the Association of Alternative Dispute Resolution, AADR, is appealing to the Ghanaian government to invest and promote ADR practice in the country. The group believes adequate support and promotion of ADR practice will create a robust legal regime in the country for settlement of disputes.
Simply by how the world around us works, disputes are bound to arise in everyday dealings. For this reason, the courts were created to resolve and amicably settle disagreements that may arise between individuals, entities, or nations. However, there are some demerits of court adjudication, which includes the time-consuming nature and high costs in contracting the services of lawyers and court procedures charges, among others. This has led Ghana to adopt a legal framework called Alternative Dispute Resolution, ADR, a procedure for settling disputes without litigation. At the 2023 graduation ceremony of the Institute of Paralegal Training and Leadership in Accra, the president of the Ghana National Association of ADR Practitioners, Mr. Daniel Owusu-Kranton, said ADR is key to improving access to justice for most Ghanaians and the promotion of peace in the country.
I want to charge you to go out to become examples of selfless, honest, strategic leadership, because despite the blessings of our natural endowments, like gold, diamonds, oil, forests, etc., selfless leadership and love for our nation are becoming scarce virtues in our nation.
Now, Dr. James Chamenyi is an alternative dispute resolution practitioner.
When I came to join this ADR, within a twinkle of an eye, I was able to solve problems for my clients who are facing challenges with the Ghana Revenue Authority, with SNIT, with Registrar General. And I've learned a lot on the practical aspect of alternative dispute resolution.
After studying this course, it has enlightened me to know that not all litigations that have to go to court, some could be settled within the community.
In total, 36 ADR practitioners were recognized and graduated with certificates. 20 graduated with professional executive masters in ADR, 3 in paralegal training, 7 in chieftaincy, law and development, and 6 in negotiation and mediation.
The news is reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria. More stories ahead. Stay tuned.
We are going through the brunt of the fuel subsidy. I know the pressure and the demand and lamentation, but you understand it much better. You are the one who understands the labor pain. That is only after that pain you see the smile of a child that you are relieved and forget the pain completely. And that's what we are going through economically. You are the one who can educate better the public to understand that we have to go through this. Cartel and thieves have been raping us and fleecing this country before now. You say enough is enough. We are taking our country back. Yes.
From humble beginnings to the extraordinary, we've witnessed incredible bonds, the rise of legends in the most challenging of times, and the most unforgettable moments that kept us at the edge of our seat. Everything up till now was just the beginning. Legends go head-to-head as timelines have collapsed for the ultimate showdown. Welcome to Big Brother Naija All-Stars.
Proudly sponsored by Money Point, powering dreams. In association with HFM, online trading at its finest.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has underlined support for South Africa in the wake of the deadly fire in Johannesburg on Thursday, which killed at least 74 people, including 12 children. The overnight blaze ripped through a 5-story rundown building in the city centre occupied by homeless people and squatters. Dozens were injured. The building was among many in the downtown area that have been abandoned and hijacked by criminal gangs who rent them out to families. President Cyril Ramaphosa, who visited the site, described it as a tragedy and a wake-up call, according to media reports. And the UN Secretary-General was deeply saddened by the news, his spokesperson said in a statement issued later on Thursday. In this moment of great sadness and grief, he conveys his sincere condolences to the families of the victims and to the government and people of South Africa, it said. And Mr. Guterres also wished a prompt recovery to the injured. He added that the UN country team in South Africa stands ready to work with the authorities to provide assistance to those affected by the fire and to prevent further incidents of this nature. In other news, Pope Francis celebrated Mongolia's rich and ancient culture during the first papal visit to that country. Let's get more on this from Kolo Mohammed.
The world's Pope Francis has had more modest welcomes from the public ever since landing for the first time in Mongolia. Smaller scale greetings, but no less enthusiastic.
We're all here to greet the Holy Father. We're about to see him, and we've been waiting for this moment for many years.
And now let's bring you the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency's interception of illicit drugs such as ephedrine, skunk and nitrous oxide cleverly concealed in everyday items destined for South Africa and Kenya. These operations led to the arrest of suspects associated with transnational drug trafficking organizations, along with the seizure of their assets, including luxury vehicles. Additionally, NTAi arrested a suspected prominent drug trafficker, Suleiman Babatunde Oba, who was attempting to board a flight to South Africa with ephedrine, a precursor chemical for methamphetamine production. Several other operations thwarted attempts to export skunk and laughing gas, leading to the capture of involved suspects as well as aggression of suspected drug kingpin Ngene Emmanuel Onye Dikachi, along with other accomplices. And we go to Katsina State, where the government has disbursed cash assistance of 20 million naira to the families of members of the vigilante group of Nigeria who lost their lives to the fight against insecurity in that state. Governor Diko Umara Umaru, rather during the presentation to the 33 families, stated that more similar programs were in the pipeline as part of fulfillment of campaign promises. Awal Haliru reports.
Some of the beneficiaries received the sum of 500,000 naira cash from the state government. A total of 15 members of the vigilante group who sustained injuries while discharging their duties were given 250,000 naira each. Katsina State Governor Malam Dukko Umaru Radda, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the state, Abdullahi Garba Faskari, said the cash support program was part of campaign promises.
And currently there are about 20 number security personnel in various hospitals. The government is taking care of all their bills and necessary support. And not only that, there are other security arrangements, and they will be unfolded by His Excellency the Governor himself.
Similarly, the sum of 1 million naira cash was given to the families of one Lance Corporal with the Nigerian Army who lost his life in the line of duty. A police inspector who also sustained injury received 250,000 naira cash.
We have adopted another measure, that is to take care of any person who has a gunshot, and even including rape cases.
This has really motivated and encouraged our activity.
Emir of Katsina Abdulmumini Kabir Usman, in a message, appealed to the state government to expand the program to take care of more victims. In Katsina, Awal Haliru, NTA News.
In Cross River State, government is assured to provide a secure and enabling environment that facilitate ease of doing business and attract growth. The State Deputy Governor Peter Ode gave the assurance at the end of a two-day International Cooperation and Investment Summit that held in Calabar. Justina Itim reports.
It was an expository moment as foreign and local investors converged to fashion out ways of leveraging on the natural endowments of Cross River states to facilitate investments in pursuance of the state's development agenda.
A major impact of every infrastructure project is the opportunity for job creation, economic empowerment, and improvement of the quality of life for the citizens.
Deputy Governor of Cross River State, Peter Ode, promised that the state's government will cut down the cost of doing business to woo investors.
We don't only want Cross River State to have the tap of come, feel at home, and relax. Cross River State should be a place where you need to come, do business, and you relax.
Investors speak on the way forward.
I'm glad to report that after 5 years of research, farmers in Nigeria now can grow cassava with zero weeding. You never have to take the hoe out to the field and do any weeding.
So today, I want to introduce how we are able to market GSC motor in Nigeria from nobody to somebody in the next 8 or 9 years.
Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Erasmus Ekbang, described the summit as impactful.
For the next 2 years, you see Cross River State in another very different light. Because to start with it, if you check where Cross River State is even located, it's quite actually closer to the Asian, the Chinese, who are almost the biggest economy today in the world.
It is expected that the state's government will utilize measures proposed in the summit to set Cross River States on the pedestal of economic development. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
In other news, Cross River chapter of the governing All Progressives Congress has appealed to the national leadership of the party to reconsider the state for the office of National Women Leader. Major stakeholders of the party from the state made the appeal during a peaceful protest to the party national secretariat to call for the return of the office from Edo to Cross River State, being the only South-South state with a sitting governor.
It has always been between Cross River State and Akwa Ibom State. But this time around, our tenure has not even expired, you understand? Our tenure is still on. So we are praying that the party should look into it and give us our slot back from Cross River State.
Now, the delegation also spoke on the appointment of Niger Delta Development Commission as it pertains to the state.
Of a PDP member that fought us during elections, that the nomination should come from the PDP
to represent Cross River State in NDDC board. What is meant for us should be given to us.
The stalwarts pledged their continued loyalty to the supremacy of the party, as always, and commended the exemplary leadership of the president and party chairman in the country. Now, inauguration of the Kogi State National Governorship Campaign Council for the APC held in Lokoja with 191 members sworn in by the party's national chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje. He tasked the members to work diligently to secure victory for the party in the upcoming November governorship election in the state. Correspondent Solomon Aidei reports.
Of APC chieftains and stalwarts from across the country in Lokoja, the capital of Kogi State, underscores the significance of the official inauguration of the members of the Kogi State National Governorship Campaign Council of the All Progressives Congress, APC, for the November 11 governorship election. The delegation from the National Working Committee of the party was led by the national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, comprising 191 campaign council members who represent a diverse range of professionalism, experience, and perspectives, and united by their shared commitment to the party's structure and ideals. The council is chaired by the governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun. The governors of Lagos, Niger, Kaduna, Benue, and Kogi states will serve as co-chairmen. The council's primary objective is to ensure victory for the APC and its governorship candidate Usman Ahmed Ododo in the November polls in Kogi State.
So with this brief, I now formally inaugurate the National Campaign Council for gubernatorial election in Kogi State.
The national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, charged the campaign council to conduct issue-based campaigns and collaborate with all stakeholders to secure victory for the party.
Let me assure you, with the caliber of this campaign council, we will provide everything that you need, all the resources and the logistics that we have to bring this election.
The Kogites believe in APC, believe in my leadership. And of course, the product we are marketing is already a sellable product.
This is a done deal, I can assure you.
They expressed confidence that the party's candidate will win to build upon the legacies of the present administration in the state. With the inauguration of the council, the campaign is expected to commence in earnest in preparation for the election in Kogi State. In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
And up next is Monday weather prospect for Nigeria and other parts of the world. That's the news. Thanks for watching. I am Comfort Amodu.